Oh, fucking hell. I wrote something on Facebook this morning. I think it was this morning. I don't remember really. Because someone had posted about honesty, about being honest. And and it just prompted something. This isn't what I wrote, but something along the lines of, be honest. This is not what you want. Be honest. This can't be what you want. If this was what you wanted, you wouldn't want it, because it would already be the case. So wanting is always something else. I mean, it's pretty worthless, but I enjoyed writing it. I guess I mean, that is obvious to everyone. It's not really non-dual. It's just that I think nearly everyone, there isn't much that I speak about that everyone down the pub would agree with, but they might agree with that. And then they'd say something along the lines of, well, you're suggesting that we shouldn't want anything. Well, if we didn't want anything, we'd never get anything done, would we? We'd never achieve anything. We'd never complete anything. And so I'd have to concede that for motivation, wanting is seemingly pretty useful. But in this pursuit, unlike trying to get the garden dug, where motivation does seem to be required, motivation is worthless. Wanting this to be as it is, which is all that's being ever pointed at, will not help this be as it is any more than it is. This there's no path to here. There's no way to this. So motivation doesn't help. It doesn't hinder either. It's always just as it is, isn't it? There's no escape. And all of wanting, all of could be, should be, might be, will be, is all escapism in one form or another. Attempting. But you might have noticed there is, you wouldn't come to these meetings if it wasn't already hideously obvious that there's nowhere to go. You have never been anywhere else. Now, I'm not suggesting that you could know where this is, that where you are. The illusion is that you do know where you are, where you've been, and also where you might get to. And in fact, in a very real sense, you never went anywhere. You never moved. This doesn't move. This is unmoving. the stillness, the emptiness, the silence, which you will have all experienced or said you experienced or been aware of or had glimpses of or had and then lost. And there isn't, it's not by degrees, it can't be lost. There is nothing can't be lost. And that's what emptiness can't be lost. Everything is empty. Emptiness doesn't exist. I had a debate the other day, sort of a debate. I don't really get into discussions, intellectual discussions about this, but there, I couldn't help but get into like a Facebook commentary debate, you know, on the comments. I try not to, because there's usually no mileage in getting into an argument about this shit, because no one could get it right. But there was, it was that the source of everything is emptiness, that nothing, everything comes from nothing and returns to nothing. And I couldn't help it. It just seemed irresistible that I had to say no. Everything is nothing. Everything is not in the from nothing to something back to nothing. There is no becoming something. Everything is the emptiness. The thingness is empty. And I have no idea how, but the substance, the thingness of things is more substantial, more real, ridiculously, for being nothing. The emptiness of everything does not diminish the realness. This is the only reality. And again, the other discussion that I'd sometimes get into is about this being a dream. And I kind of understand why some people want to refer to life, waking life, as the dream, as Shakespeare did. And yet, if this is the only reality, it seems nonsensical to call it a dream. But then there really is no reality. And that's fine if you want to dismiss the word real completely. But if you want to keep the word real, then this is completely real. You won't, by that, all I'm suggesting is, if you are looking for reality that is hidden from view, what's being very strongly suggested is you will not fucking find it, because there isn't anything else to see. This is not a new way of seeing. This is not a new way of perceiving. This is not a new way of being. There is no new way. There is no way. And probably the only good news is this, the end of looking for it. That's all. That's all I'm ever speaking about. You are the looking for. There isn't anyone looking for. The looking for is you. And you won't find you, and you won't find what you're looking for. There's nothing to be found, literally. And then there's everything. it's too simple. Simple is not simple enough to describe this. It's this totally effortless. Everything is as it is with no effort. With effort or without effort, makes no odds. So probably the most frustrating thing of this as a search is, of course, that in every other pursuit, more effort is beneficial. Try harder, I said to my students. Of course, in this pursuit, try harder is often try less, but you have to try less. I mean, that you surrender is all about trying less, but that's just fucking trying to try less. That's just more effort. Don't kid yourself. If you're just trying to be accepting or surrendered, that's a lot. Shit, that's harder than putting in the donkey work. But I'm not suggesting that's a hindrance. That's just as it is. There isn't anything that's not. All you have is you just wishing and wanting it to be otherwise. That's all. And probably the sickest joke of all of this is, of course, the wanting it, the desire, the hope, the dreams of life being as you want it to be. That's exactly as it is, if that's how it is. That's there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just a pain in the arse. But in the story of me, which is pretty much like every other story of me that the me's have told me, trying to be a successful self, trying to be the best me I can be, is what me does. And it's shit. That's my motivation for speaking about this. I had some highs as me, but fucking hell. I berated myself for my incompetence and my failures and my inadequacies 1,000 times more than I ever congratulated myself. So the wonderful, what we might call unconditional love, is that there are no winners. And I was always afraid of losing. Fear of failure was very profound. It is for most sports people, but it is for most me's, full stop. But the thing is, of course, I was afraid of success too. Because if I actually succeeded, then I could only go downhill from there. So, you know, the success is not good for me. What I'm suggesting is that won't help. That doesn't help anyone. For a start, if you're a successful self, then all the self-pitying, self-loathing selves envy you terribly, and they'll be really nice to you because you're successful. But inside, they're loathing you, they're detesting you for your success. So all human beings are wonderfully unsuccessful, regardless of their seeming success or not, material or spiritual or in relationships, however you measure success. And of course, each self has its own idea of what a successful life would look like. But isn't it wonderful that no one wins? And because there's no winners, of course, there's no losers. There's only losers if there's winners. So in one sense, you could say we're all equally losers, but then, of course, there are no losers. Like life is not competitive. Survival is competitive, but life itself, it's not, you know, there's just life. Life doesn't, it sounds callous, but life just couldn't give a shit about you because you don't exist. And believe it or not, life not giving a shit about you at all because you don't exist. You know, you're just life. You don't exist separate from life for life to care about. Then that's loving in a way that most human beings would never consider loving, but it is. Maybe only for human beings, but what else are we going to know? I don't get many dogs to my meetings. I mean, they probably disagree. And what the fuck the cats would say? Well, the cats wouldn't say anything. What they'd do is they'd turn their back on me and put their tail, you know how they put the tail up in the air, and then they'll just squirt a little bit of that fucking hideous smelling stuff at me. So I'm only talking about being human. What else are we talking about? Do you sometimes wonder what is, I mean, you must do. If you've had pets, you've always wondered, what, I wonder, yeah, what is the dog dimension? Because I'm always poo-pooing spiritual dimensions. I can't help it. I'm dreadfully cynical about that shit. But what I'm not cynical about is imagining dog world or bat world or ant world. I mean, I spend a lot of my early childhood just obsessed with watching bugs. And I would get an anthill and I'd disturb it so there'd be lots of ants. And then I'd corral them. I'd make little roads and then I'd build them just to see if I could get them to, I don't know, I'm just thinking, I'd just be in the ant world. Have you seen how quickly they will rescue all the eggs when you disturb the nest? So you uncover them and there's eggs, and there'll be thousands. Within 5 minutes, there's not one. They've moved them all to safe ground. It's quite amazing. But of course, we don't live in ant dimension. So we dismiss ant dimension as irrelevant. Who gives a shit about ants, really? I was going to say entomologists, but of course, entomologists are not the same as entomologists. Oh dear. I've gone way off track there. That's sort of like a bit, I've gone a bit like Trump there, I think, because I saw he was talking about Hannibal Lecter, and me going off about ants is, because he's obviously, I was going to say early onset. It's not fucking early. He's old, but yeah, he's got a little bit of, what are they going to call it? Mental deterioration. There's some hardening of the arteries, hardening of the small capillaries in the synapse of his frontal lobe, causing him to say the great Hannibal Lecter. Sorry, I just saw it the other day. I couldn't stop laughing. It's so funny. Make me sound as though I'm interested in it. Right, that's enough. I'm really rambling. It's like I've been drinking. I think I've had too much coffee.
Yelena has a hand up.
That was just
Hello.
Yelena.
Yeah. I'm laughing. I'm sorry.
I'm rambling.
It's so funny. I love it. No, the cat thing is funny because how different are animals. They also have different characters. Like my cat doesn't kill bugs. He plays with them and leaves them alone. And then my best friend's cats are just murderers. They jump in the air and like tear it halfway.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're also so different, you know?
Yeah. I mean, anyone who's had cats and dogs is so obvious.
Yeah.
Animals have character. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Very,
I was
very distinct characters. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
you know.
What do you think? Do you think ants do?
Mm, um, I honestly,
Can you imagine? Do you think there's extrovert and introvert ants?
yeah, they probably, have you ever seen the Pixar movie Ants? They have like a whole thing, you know? I
Yeah.
like to imagine it just like that.
Now, I think they might have gone too far with the Pixar, and maybe
Maybe.
humanize the ants a bit too much.
That's what we all do, huh? We
Yeah.
just humanize everything.
Mhm.
I just I really wanted to say that the really I feel like the major freedom, I guess, and the ultimate one is the questioner, the person who is always thinking, oh, what if this, what if that, I don't like this, I don't like that, that disappears. And even a long time ago, even from a psychological standpoint, when I was going through one of the roughest parts of my life, I said, I wish I could change this. And the therapist told me, no, you don't. You wish you could change the way you feel about what's happening.
Mhm.
And I mean, if just over time, the person who started questioning things just disappeared, and it really doesn't matter because if you really hear the communication to say that this is nothing for you, then why? What can you? What's the point of it for the person then?
Yeah.
No.
No point.
Yep. No. That's it. That's all I
That's
wanted
it.
to
That's
say.
lovely. Yeah. Well, I mean, self is always afraid of pointlessness.
Yeah, but it's such an interesting feeling to really not like care that there's no answer. The
No.
fact that when that starts dropping away, it's like it's amazing. You can't compare, it doesn't compare to anything else
No.
because it just what's the point? What doesn't matter? Doesn't matter, It just goes
Yeah.
how it goes. That's it,
Yeah.
really.
When I say it doesn't matter, what I mean is it doesn't matter whether it matters or not.
Right.
I'm not saying nothing matters.
Oh no, of course.
I'm saying when it really matters, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds, I don't know, like splitting hairs or just being pedantic, but I really mean it. So life for me isn't like isn't pointless. It's just that whether there's a point or not, there's no point to the point. So it's not like I don't, because it can sound as though, and this gets leveled at non-duality generally, that it's nihilistic and says that nothing matters. That's not what's been said at all. It's that for human beings, of course, things matter. Just like those eggs mattered for the ants. I mean, and my kids are my ants. Well, if they're in danger, I'm going to pick them up and run for cover, aren't I? Just like the ants do with the eggs. It's just nature, but that natural behavior is just natural behavior. It doesn't have meaning or purpose. I mean, you could say just survival, but of course, even that's saying too much.
Yeah. I mean, you can't control what's the reaction going to be. Like there's no, you have no idea. You can,
No.
kind of predict from your
Yeah, yeah.
standpoint, but and it goes. You never know how you're going to react. And if
Yeah.
if you really, like when you and I spoke yesterday, if the brain allows the slowing down of the mechanism, you could see how
Mhm.
it reacts to what it does, like how it completely is a protective mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, how much anxiety do most people have about
Ugh.
how they might react, and I'm really worried. So I need to be in complete control so that I can manage my reactions.
Yeah.
Now the truth is, no one ever knows what reactions there will be. No idea at all. Now there are patterns, and you could, in probability, you can have a good guess how you might react and how another human being you've seen a lot of behavior from might react. But to say, it's nonsense. Always. We all know this. I mean, what about when you've done something out of character, and or someone else has said it, and you go, well, that wasn't you. That wasn't me. I don't know who did that. I don't know where that came from. Well, we don't know where anything comes from. Isn't that wonderful? No one. So I say we, I mean human beings. So the delusion of human beings is that we know where anything comes from, where anything is, and where it's going. It can be fun, it can be interesting, but this notion of truth, what's real and unreal, is it can be just seen for what it is, which is seeing patterns, finding patterns, naming objects, and then looking at the relationships between them, which, is fun. I like science.
Mark has his hand up.
Yelena, thank you.
Thank you.
Mark.
Hello, Tim.
Hello, Mark.
I guess here there's been the sense that no one knows what's going on, that everything is sort of unknown. Like you're so used to having your parents that you could ask for advice, or someone knows what's the right way, and it just feels sort of terrifying when you hear that no one knows what the fuck is. Yeah, it just feels scary, I would say.
Yeah.
Why would it not feel that like it's yeah?
But you don't have to. I mean, the wonderful thing is you don't have to worry about it being scary or telling someone else and them being scared, because most people would never even hear that. Most selves never will go anywhere near. They don't know what's going on. The sense of self is the very sense, the conviction that I know who I am. So if I know who I am, I know where I am. I know how I got here. I know where in the world I am. I know my place in society and in my family. It's this groundedness of knowing who I am. And that, for most selves, that goes completely unchallenged and always will.
Mm.
It's only just for, it seems, of tiny. I mean, I don't want to big you all up too much, but you just don't know how special you are, all of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I do mean that special as in a tiny minority, not that you're special. It's just so few. Because this has no appeal. Now, you've been trying to work out why this has an appeal to you, Mark, probably.
Yeah.
You know, why are you attracted to this ridiculous?
Why I'm listening to this fucking guy from why
What?
the fuck on a first date? What the
Tell
fuck?
me
Yeah.
what. Tell me why you're doing that, Mark. Do you know?
No, I freedom maybe. I want freedom maybe. That's what I would say.
There you go.
And I think you can give it to me.
Yeah, and can't tell you strongly enough that I can't give it to you. No, you need to go to another
Shit.
meeting, Mark, where
Okay, thank you.
the woman or the guy at the front will tell you that they can give it to you. Or not that they could give it to you, but they might tell you that they could help you towards it. I'm going to tell you, there's no one to fucking help, Mark. How could I help someone achieve something if there's no one to help?
Yeah. But
So
that's
no,
just rejected when you say that. I mean, it just sounds like crazy talk, you know, when you hear there's anyone. Yeah.
And most people I ever speak to,
Yeah.
they will think it's crazy, but that's why I have meetings, because this is my only chance to speak about this.
Right.
Don't go in the bar this evening and start telling people.
No, I won't.
But you said what you did say freedom when I said why, maybe freedom. Yeah, and of course freedom can't be achieved. Freedom is the natural state. This is free. This is free. Free in every sense. So free in the sense of wild, untamable, unknowable, you know, that kind of free. And also free in there's no charge. And there's no one who there's no one who could attain it, because it's unattainable. That makes it absolutely free. If this were attainable, it wouldn't be free, would it? It would just be for the tiny few who could achieve it or not, whereas life is absolutely free.
It seems what I can know of someone else, of a friend or my mom, maybe it's just what I think about them, or in some way, or like what I've told myself about them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You never know them.
Right.
They never know you. No one's ever known you, Mark. Including yourself. So that's a relief.
Right, maybe. Yeah.
Did you do some self-inquiry?
No.
Or did you try some?
I tried to become better, mate.
Oh
try
yeah.
to become
Oh,
better.
self-improve. Well, everyone does the
Self-improvement. Yeah. Mostly that.
Yeah, mostly that. Yeah. You and everyone else.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, I ended up here, so I don't know.
You've ended, yeah. How's that turned out? Well, you've ended up here. It's not very well.
But I don't know. For me, growing up, it was always like there was this sense that how could everybody just keep sort of going on doing, like going through the motions, going through the routine, going to the job, and I don't know, not sort of questioning. There was just a sense here of just you can't, I don't know, you can't just be this, or it's like not that there's more to it, but like that it's I don't know.
Well,
That life just seemed too easy for them compared to how it felt for me, or like it just seemed like how the fuck can you? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you've always questioned, have you, Mark?
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. Maybe, yeah.
I think everyone who ends up here wherever this is, who ends up being attracted in the most perverse way to non-dual teaching or speaking or the message. They it's not by choice.
Mm.
It's not by choice that you come to the end of the road and there's just the road disappears into, there's a cliff, and you look over the cliff and it's just the abyss. I mean, you wouldn't wish that, would you? I mean, so what you've been longing for is to keep following. You've been on this really long journey. It's been really hard. It's been tough, but you've battled on and you've got to, and you've come to the end of the road. And at the end of the road, there is a sheer cliff that you look down and there's nothing. There's not even a bottom. So you couldn't even jump off and kill yourself. No, you couldn't. No, because you jump off and you just fucking fall forever. I mean, that is not what, that's not what you wished for, I'm pretty sure.
Right. I think Resia has a question.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Razia.
Hi, everyone. It's fine if I talk.
Hello, Razia.
Yeah, like what is being said resonates. I think this character and all other characters have been through the same road of self-improvement, of trying desperately to be a better person,
Yeah.
of improving relationships. It's been a difficult road, a struggle sometimes, but it's now all memory, obviously. But it's what defined us. And all of us have some way or the other felt this lack, you know? Oh, I'm not good enough, you know?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with me. I couldn't even look in the mirror. I felt I didn't look good enough, you know? Yeah, it was like, what happened to Razia? Like I was looking at myself and I actually felt that I was not beautiful enough. I mean, social media and sorry, I'm not even social media and media as such, and this whole industry that makes women feel that they're inadequate in some way. You have to put lipstick on. You have to go and get a facelift. Oh gosh, your bust is not even big enough nowadays, or your butt for that matter. I mean, it's like there's always this lack, this feeling of lack that you're not good enough, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to improve that. And then one day you're looking at yourself in the mirror and then you realize, God, I am beautiful. There's nothing wrong with me. You kind of fall in love with yourself now. You are. You're looking at yourself and you are so beautiful. I don't know. I mean, it's like this kind of like a shift in the way you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's no lack here now. You're okay with everything. You know, whatever is happening is happening. This is part of life.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could say there's no body now, so who's scared about what it looks like? But I mean, the body doesn't disappear. It's always there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't know. But I mean, yeah, it's a hell of a road. This trying to improve ourselves and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then there is, and to become what? Aware. When was awareness ever lacking, you know? I mean, when were you not aware? You're looking out into the world, you're looking at the trees, you're reacting with the birds, you're reacting with your dog. That's awareness. That's what you are. That's what we've been all along, this love. But we're searching for it. And one day you're looking in the mirror and you see love staring back at you. That's the most amazing thing. And somehow it's like when you're looking at yourself and you see yourself as love, then every otherness that's out there are expressions of this love too. It can't be unseen there. And it's the most beautiful feeling in the world when you're looking at someone with and all you see is this love that's emanating from them. We are this pulsating awareness, this love, this awe, this wonder. You are beautiful, every single one of you. You don't lack anything. And I think that was the most amazing thing for me. Thanks. I love you.
Thank you. Justin, just unmute yourself, Justin. You just have to click on the...
There we go. Okay.
There you
Success. Hey.
Hi, Justin.
Hi.
Good
Good
to
to see you for the first time.
Nice.
In live. Been watching your stuff on YouTube for quite a while.
Right.
So I I suppose like everybody else here that the self-help road and the spiritual paths have all been tried and failed many times over, and this isn't really I get that this isn't really offering a path, and it's kind of like offering an end, and
it's not even offering that, Justin.
Damn it.
What else do you think it might be offering?
I'd like to say relief, but I know that's not true either.
Oh, well, yeah, I might even concede a bit of relief. No, there could be, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm going to go with ease. A bit more ease. Easier. With more ease. As in easier, not better. Not relieving, not anything. Easier, more ease. I'm not going to concede much more than that, but I'm going to give you that as that is what's on offer.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it seems like there's nowhere else to go.
No.
That makes sense.
Yeah, oh, perfectly. That's very familiar. There's nearly everyone here will recognize that it feels like the end of the road, as I talked about earlier. I would doubt if there's anyone who's got here watching non-duality meetings, reading non-duality books, being obsessed with, well, this end of the road must be the end of something, only to find out that there isn't anything to end. It's fucking just dreadful, really. I mean,
it's horrible.
Yeah, it's really horrible. Now, I should feel bad about it. I don't. I don't. I don't at all. Quite the contrary. I absolutely love it. And I would tell the world if they'd listen, but I know they won't. So I'm very happy to tell you, Justin, and anyone else who's come to the end of the road, that the end of the road is not the end of the road, because there never was a road. You didn't fucking travel. That's, I mean, you're not going to get that, but that's what I want to say to everyone. So what feels like the end of the road and the journey that you've been on, you are the holding on to your journey. How precious is your journey? All your trials and tribulations, all your successes and failures, all your trauma, the whole fucking shebang. None of it ever happened. You are the keeping that alive, and that is you keeping it alive. Otherwise, it doesn't exist at all. That doesn't exist. You won't find what exists, because that would be an ending as well. So this isn't a, now I can tell you what really exists, and then that will be the end. If you've been looking for what's true and real, Justin, I don't know, how is that? Have you been looking for what's true?
I guess just an end to like all the sort of self-hate, the
Yeah,
suffering of life, you know, whatever. Trying to fix, I think it's kind of like this need to fix.
it's absolutely. Well, again, there isn't anyone here who doesn't recognize that either. I mean, that is what self does. Self is the self-improvement, the self-fixing program, because the whole sense of self is that there's something at fault. There's something missing. There's something incomplete. So I'm trying always to patch up and heal, and, you know, this whole woundedness. There's no one wounded.
Yeah, and I guess it's becoming clearer and clearer to me that there's nothing I can do
No.
that'll make a damn bit of difference.
Well, there are.
Regardless.
Well, the thing is, no, there is. It's endless what you can do. There's the truth. But will that be a solution? No. The reason it won't be a solution is because what you're trying to solve doesn't exist. I mean, you're trying to heal yourself. You're trying to complete yourself. You're trying to fix yourself. There is nothing to fix. Now, while there's a conviction that you do exist and there is something to fix, then fixing does seem to help. So I don't ever tell people don't go and see a therapist or don't try and heal. No, for me, that's all I can do. I can't do anything else. I have to do that. Because I feel faulty. I'm inadequate. I'm not good enough. I've got so many things that need fixing. But I mean, this doesn't need fixing, and this is all there is. So then you know, self will always want to fix itself or improve itself, which is the same thing. But there's nothing to be improved, because there's just a story of, I mean, the very sense of who you are is just a story.
Thanks for that confusion.
You're welcome. Thanks, Justin. And there's me thinking, oh, I was really clear there. I thought, good clarity, Tim. But no, just more fucking confusion. Oh, I tell you, if there's one thing that's really overrated, clarity. What a crock of shit. This is equally confusing as it is clear. I mean, if that's, I mean, the reason I say it is I was always looking for when I was going through when I was highly promiscuous as a non-duality seeker, and I was going through speakers like, I shouldn't say it, make it a sectional analogy, but I haven't got a clue what I was going to say. I think I have gone Trump. I do. I was always looking for clarity, is what I was meaning to say. Who's the clearest speaker? Now, I'm not going to list them in order because I made a list. Maybe you've got one. Maybe you've not written it down yet. Perhaps you could do that this evening. Write down your list of non-duality speakers, top 10, and you could do it in different categories. So you could have clarity. You know, that was what I was after. You could have compassion. Who do you think is the most empathic and compassionate? Funniest, obviously. That's good. I should figure in that one. And whatever else. What else is important as a non-duality speaker? Clarity, compassion, empathy. Oh, most radical to least radical, hardest, toughest, most uncompromising. Oh, there's no problem with compromise. You know, you don't get any more points for being uncompromising. Funny. It's a funny old fucking game, this. I don't know how I got into it. Well, I didn't get into it. It's good. Just had to do it. Still have to do this every Thursday. And I love it. I love it more than ever I did, I think. It's totally worthless. I mean, I do like what, who was it? Mark said and Justin said about, you know, what you're going to get out of it. There's nothing. I mean, that's the love, the unconditional love of this, of speaking about this, of wanting to share it, is that there's nothing on offer. You've been looking for the best offers all your life. That's all self ever does. Look for what the fuck is the best on what's on offer, and then I'm just going to randomly go from one to the next. No, that didn't do it. No, that didn't do it. Well, it did it for a bit. I felt good for a week. Now I feel shit again. Oh yeah, Razia, most real, most authentic. There you go. That's one. Put that one. Make your lists, 1 to 10, and we can share them next week. Authenticity. That's a good one. By the way, that all of those, they would all be counselor, therapist qualities as well. I just thought, you know, authentic self. Do not kid yourself that this is about being your authentic self. Who the fuck would that be? If you think you're going to find your authentic self, then just keep looking. That'll keep you going until you are in a box. Because there will be no finding anything authentic. There is nothing more or less authentic. Isn't that unconditional love? So you know this whole idea of truth and, you know, real and unreal. There's nothing more real or unreal than anything else. There's nothing more authentic. Someone, a human being who is a total sham, a complete facade, that's equally as authentic as, you know, who you think is, oh, I love them. They're so genuine, aren't they? So real, so authentic. No, everything is equally. There is no authenticity. Well, there is no inauthenticity until you say so. Maybe it might be obvious that you're making it all up, everything. All of it. All of the past. All of what has happened, all of what is happening, all of what might come to be happening. So there is only what's happening, but even what's happening is only what each human being says what seems to be happening. That is all there is. There can't be anything else. Everything else is, there can be hypotheses, there can be ideas, but that's just more story. Without the stories, there is, you can't say, because whatever you say is more story. So if you still are in the story of you will find what's real, which is this, I'm very happy to say you won't. I don't doubt that no one has. I don't doubt that no one ever will. There's nothing to find. Tony always used to say, this is in plain view. And he used to make the joke of, if you wanted to hide, where would be the best place to hide? Everywhere. Which I always loved that. So this is hiding everywhere, in plain view, as everything. That's it. Well, thanks for coming, everyone. Seemed to be a bit strangely rambling today, but I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed my rambling. Hope it hasn't been too, too ridiculous. Lovely to see you all. Thanks for coming. And if there's anyone here and you would like to be, and you're not on the mailing list and you'd like the invitation to meeting, then just email me at clistim@gmail.com. And that goes for anyone who's watching this on YouTube, do the same. And I'll put you on the mailing list for invitations. Thanks, Darren.
Thanks, Tim.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Darren.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Right.